All right, bro. So I want to talk about a few key things that you need to do in order to build muscle and have a great physique, as fast as possible so it's not taking forever. It does take time, but if you aren't doing the things that I'm about to tell you in this video, it's going to take you a lot longer and you might be already potentially in some of these traps. And that might be why you're not seeing some of the progress that you want to be seeing, right? So I just want to talk a bit about that today. And, I was kind of in this position where back when I started lifting, I got stuck in this sort of phase where I was just in maintenance mode the whole time. I wasn't really choosing a direction, and it really sucked because I was kind of getting demoralized and I felt like I wasn't making the progress that I wanted to make, and it felt like it was just taking forever, right? And even before I got started, I saw how long it could really take in order for people to really build muscle. And it's a slow process, but there are some key things that I figured out that will speed up the process and get you to where you want to be a lot faster. So the first point is really just think about where you're going, right? What is your destination? A lot of times when we get into the gym and we're just starting out, or you've been going for a while and maybe you haven't decided yet, you don't know where your direction is. You have to set a direction for yourself. You have to set a goal, right? Fitness is not unlike any other area of life where if you want to see improvements, you need to set goals. And so for me, when I first started, the problem was, I wasn't really thinking about a goal in mind. I was just like, let me get into the gym, let me start lifting. And that was good. That was a good mindset to get started. But if you want to get this done as fast as possible, you need to set yourself a goal. So are you in a maintenance mode, right? Are you in a recomp? Are you going to be bulking? Are you going to be cutting? Are you someone who's on just sort of in the middle? You're not like super out of shape, but you just want to get into the gym. Really, what I found is for a lot of people just getting started, right? If you're not on the extremes, right? So the extreme spectrum is like you're really skinny, right? You're really skinny, underweight, and either you're super lean or you're skinny fat, or the other extreme is that you're just really overweight, right? And it's difficult to really get into the gym and be working out because of that. So if you're on one of the extremes, it's going to be a little bit different, right? But if you're kind of somewhere in the middle, the best approach you can really do is to go for like a recomp slash maintenance phase, which is basically means you're going to go into the gym, you're just going to eat at maintenance. What that means is, you're just going to eat kind of how you've always really been eating. And you might increase your calories a little bit, because you're training more now and you're burning up more. So you might increase your calories a little bit, which is actually good because you'll actually fulfill the demand and start building muscle. And you want to just make sure that you're hitting the right amount of protein because probably you haven't been eating enough protein up until this point. And so make sure you're eating enough protein. Make sure that you're working out and that you're just eating at maintenance. So you're not really dropping in weight a whole lot and you're not really going up. You're just staying in that zone. So this is great because it really gets you into the gym. It gets you kind of used to just where you should be, right? Where you should be, and just kind of getting used to lifting weights, all the different exercises, how long your workouts are going to be, what you like doing, what you don't like doing. That's a great starting point. And I think that most people can start there, and that can be an intentional decision you make, and you put a time limit on it, of course. So maybe 3 to 6 months, you're just going for a recomp maintenance phase. And that's great. That's a great starting goal to have, but it's a goal. It's an intentional place, an intentional time limit that you set on it, and that you're going to be staying within that maintenance phase or that recomp phase. Now, for other people who are on the extremes, if you're really skinny right now, you might want to start doing a bulk or a lean bulk. If you're really, really overweight right now and you have a lot of body fat, then it might be time to kind of take that recomp approach of eating more protein, kind of keeping your calories the same, but actually kind of dropping your calories a bit below your maintenance so that you can start cutting off that excess body fat. So it really depends on the individual and it depends on your situation. The point is here, just make sure that you're setting an intentional goal. You're recomping, you're cutting, you're bulking, you're lean bulking, whatever, your maintenance, you're just doing a maintenance mode right now. You need to decide what you're doing and you need to decide how long you're going to do it for, because it's really important that we actually set these time limits and these intentions, because it also will train you in the rest of life to be able to actually get what you want by setting goals. Okay, next thing I see all the time is like people don't track their progress. Now, I know this is going to be difficult, right? You might say, oh, I don't want to track my progress. It's too difficult. It makes me feel too controlled and confined. But the thing is if you want to get this done as fast as possible, which I'm sure you do because you clicked on this video, you need to track your progress, okay? You need to track your progress. Now, what I like to use, okay, the best way that you can track your progress, in my opinion, is to just use an app. I see people in the gym, they use notebooks, that's, yeah, it's not really optimal. A lot of people will use notebooks. I'll see people using notebooks. I'll see people using just like the Samsung notes on their phone, or on an iPhone, and you have to like type it in individually and change it each time. The best app, literally, bro, I don't know if you don't know this yet, bro. I'm about to put you on some games, so you better be ready. The best app that you can literally get is called Strong. Okay, go on the App Store, go on the Apple Store, download Strong. It is the best app that you can get. It is free. Okay, I've been using it for years, and it's literally helped me so much. Okay, they have a paid version of it, but you can download it right now and just get the free version. Start using that app. That app will literally change everything about the way that you go in the gym. Okay, it's got all the different exercises on there. Gives you a brief description of kind of each one and how to perform it. And it's so great because what it does is essentially it logs all your sets and reps. You can add in, whether you thought something was hard, you can add in your own notes, and it saves it every workout so that you can literally, the next time you go in and you click on the workout and you do it again, it tells you what you did the last time you were in the gym. So this is great because then what you can do is essentially know what you did last time so that you can do a little bit more this time, right? Because every week you want to be pushing it a little bit. You want to be kind of pushing yourself to go a little bit further. This is why progressive overload is key, right? Progressive overload is what it's going to really push your body to adapt and grow and build muscle so that it can meet the demand, right? Every time you're lifting heavier and heavier weights or you're doing more reps, that is going to force your body to adapt and grow muscle. So a simple way that you can do this is if you're using the Strong app every week, not every workout, of course not every workout, that's going to be too much, but every week, try to bump up your exercises in terms of weight by 2.5 pounds, 5 pounds, right, at the max, because you don't want to overdo it. So 2.5 pounds to 5 pounds every single week you should be adding on, or you can just be doing more reps, right? If you don't feel like that week is really a good week to be putting on more weight, just add some more reps, bro. It's not a big deal. Just add some more reps. But you always want to be increasing, right? You always want to be increasing because if you're not growing, then you're declining, right? The maintenance mode only works for so long. If you're staying in maintenance for too long, you're just wasting time. So always be pushing yourself at least a little bit every time that you're in the gym, every week that you're in the gym, be upping the weights or your reps, right? Because that is what's going to lead to growth. And if you want to get there as fast as possible, you need to push yourself. All right, man, next thing that's really important, okay? Getting enough rest. Not enough people understand this concept, but especially when you're going to be doing this naturally, you're not going to be going down this road, which I really hope that none of you would, ever do or ever consider at this point in time. But staying natural, not using steroids, not using all these extra things to basically cheat the system and get short-term gain, right? It's short-term gain for long-term pain. That's exactly what steroids are because it's going to ruin your health in the long term. So if you're staying natty with this, it's really important you make sure you get enough rest because you're really taxing your body beyond what it would normally be experiencing, right? And so you need to make sure they get enough rest. It doesn't have to be 8 hours. A lot of people say, oh, you need 8 hours, whatever. Bro, our ancestors did not sleep for 8 hours solid every single night, okay? They were getting the rest that they could get. And so I think it's important for you to kind of determine that on your own. Do you need 8 hours? Do you need 9 hours? Do you need 7 hours, 6 hours? What is it that really fits with you and your lifestyle? And just make sure that you get that done, right? And a simple way you can do this, bro, is just go to bed, set your alarm, and see when you wake up, do I feel tired? Do I feel tired and exhausted? Okay, then the next day, set your alarm for an hour later or go to bed an hour earlier. Do I still feel really tired, right? And keep changing the times, right? And get more sleep or less sleep until the point where you feel like you're rested. So for an example, let's say you go to bed at 11 usually and you wake up at 7 and you feel really, really tired. Okay, the next night, try going to bed at 10 o'clock and wake up at 7 o'clock, right? And at that point, you're getting what that would be like 9 hours of sleep. So, I mean, that's a lot of sleep. But if you feel like you're rested, then okay, this is what I need. So make sure you're getting enough sleep because your body's going to indicate to you, how much sleep you need by how tired you are when you wake up. And it's really important because a lot throughout the night, you think that you're getting 8 hours of sleep, but you're really not. Between the time that you get in bed and it takes you that time to fall asleep, it might take you 20 minutes, 15 minutes to fall asleep. Then you're tossing and turning, you're waking up, you might have to go to the bathroom. You end up losing like an hour, hour and a half of sleep. So you're really not getting as much sleep as you think. So make sure you're getting enough sleep because that's going to lead to that's when your body really repairs your muscles, right? That's when it repairs and helps you build new muscles. So really take this into consideration, and it's a really important thing to do. Don't slack on it because you think, oh, I'm young, I can just get away with, not getting sleep. You need sleep because you're pushing your body beyond what it would normally experience, right? You're pushing it beyond its normal limits so that you can build more muscle. On to the next point, getting enough protein as well, right? I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. I'm always going to say it. You need to get enough protein. So for an example, a great, easy, just simple thing to do is, of course, like everybody says, 1 gram per pound. Okay, that's an easy calculation to do. You can do that. That's definitely overdoing it in terms of what you need for protein. You don't need that much protein. Really, you can get away with 0.82 grams per pound. Okay, so if you want to calculate that out, you can. Or, the simplest thing I think you can do is just take your weight. So let's say you're 140 pounds right now, okay? 140 pounds. 1 gram per pound means you need 140 grams of protein every day, okay? Now, if you were going to take the 0.82 of that, it might be something more like 120. So just make sure that you're in that range of like, anywhere from like 110 to 140, somewhere in that range. It's not going to be, it's not a make or break it type of thing where like you need to obsess about like every single gram you're getting it just right. But just make sure in general that you're actually eating enough protein, because again, you're pushing your body beyond its natural sort of limit of where it's at right now. So you need to feed it extra resources in order to build muscle. So yeah, just make sure that you're getting enough protein in there. Make sure that you're tracking it. Again, if you actually want to get this done as fast as possible, track your protein intake. Download MyFitnessPal. Okay, go onto the Apple Store, MyFitnessPal, or you can do Chronometer. Either one of those. MyFitnessPal is a little bit easier to use. It's a little bit more beginner friendly. And what you're going to do is just put the foods in that you eat typically every day, or that you're eating throughout the day, and it will add up the total amount of protein for you. And then you just make sure that you're eating enough protein within that given window. It's simple. Now, yeah, it takes extra work, but if you want this fast, then if you want this as fast as you can, which muscle building is pretty slow anyway. So if you want to speed it up, then you need to be doing these things. So those 3 apps, make sure you get those 3 apps, bro. MyFitnessPal or Chronometer, either one, or you can do both if you want to. And Strong. Those are the 3 apps you must have. You should have those, bro. Like, there's no excuse not to have those on your phone and just use them as a mobile app. Like, if you're serious about this, then get serious about it and get those apps. Okay, so there's that. Really, it's important to consider this fact I'm about to say. Now, you might not agree with this. You might not want to do this, but it is something that is a contributing factor. Cutting out alcohol, okay? Recently, over these past 2 months, after actually 3 months, I'm gonna make a full video about this, but I cut out alcohol and it made a huge difference in terms of my ability to achieve my goals. And what I found was that, I was able to cut out alcohol, and it really actually helped me with the cut I was on, because I've been on a cut for a while now, and it was really difficult to actually stay consistent with that when you're drinking alcohol, because alcohol has so many of these different effects and so many different things that go on with it. But essentially, number one, when you drink, it's actually a lot higher calories than you think. If you go drink a beer or something, right? Even if it's like a small, like lightweight beer, it could be 100 plus calories. Okay, depending on the beer and how many you drink, those calories can really add up. Okay, so number one, it's a lot of calories, and you don't think it is. You're drinking it and you're thinking, oh, it's not that many calories, but it actually is a lot of calories. So that can add up if you're on a cut, or even if you're lean bulking, you're trying to bulk but not getting too much fat. It can really push you over the edge. The other thing is that, overall, just in general, it's not healthy for you. It's not good for your testosterone, which is really important with building muscle. It kind of damages that. So look, if you're someone who drinks a lot of alcohol right now, just consider cutting back, because if you want to have a physique that you're happy with, that you're proud of, that is healthy and it's attractive, you need to do things that are healthy, right? You need to at least limit your alcohol consumption to the point where it's not going to negatively affect or impair muscle growth, okay? So really can think about that. The same thing goes for things like sugar, right? If you're overdoing it on the sugar, the problem is a lot of times that this can lead to a lot of other issues in your body. I don't want to get into like the weeds with all this right now. That's not the place. But the point is just eating a ton of sugar, right? And drinking a lot of alcohol is going to impede your muscle growth, especially as a younger guy, right? You might think, oh, I can get away with it. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. But the thing is it's affecting you. You just don't really notice it yet, because if you're younger, you think you're going to get away with it because you don't really feel it. But it's really putting a dent in terms of what you can achieve in terms of muscle growth and just life in general. So really consider that, cutting back on those things. For me, I'm an extreme type of person, so I completely cut it out. And I noticed a massive difference in my ability to achieve things. It also makes it, a bit easier when you aren't going hard on those things, because they tend to sort of hijack your brain in terms of all these different chemicals and things like dopamine, to where you sort of feel like you're more drawn towards doing those things than actually going to the gym. Okay, so really just consider that as a factor. Limit your workout time in terms of how much time you're spending in the gym, right? You don't need to be in there for 3 hours. Okay, I see some people doing this where they're in the gym, And if you're in there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, that is still kind of pushing it. For me, I think an hour is good because you don't want to be going into overtraining mode. Overtraining mode is where essentially you're spending so much time in the gym that you're literally just wasting time. Your body can only take so much. And so if you're doing a bunch of extra sets, extra reps, and you have to cram in 10, 20 exercises, you're just doing junk volume. You're just getting through the workout just to get through it and to get it done, right? You're not actually really focusing in on the workout and just getting really that good mind muscle connection. So consider just consider limiting your workouts, right? For me, I like an hour. Maybe for you, you like an hour and a half, but like literally, man, you don't need to be in the gym for 2 hours, 3 hours. It's not necessary. If you're targeting the right muscles and you know what you're doing, you have good form, and you have a good time under tension, right? You only need like an hour. Some people only do 45 minutes, especially if you're going 5 days a week. You don't need to be in there for 2 fucking hours. That's literally just a waste of time, and it's probably actually doing more harm than good. It's probably actually impeding muscle growth because you're literally overtraining your body and you're bringing it to the point of fatigue to where it can't really repair enough to the point when you're going back the next time it's ready to go. This overtraining can also lead to, potentially ego lifting and stuff where you actually get injured. And if you get injured, dude, like it's over, man. When you're injured, you're not going to be lifting again. For me, I kind of got in this mode where I was training hard, training a lot, and I was doing one exercise just a little bit too heavy. I was kind of going ego lifting, right? I was getting a little too heavy. What happened? Tricep just like gave out. It didn't tear, but I noticed the next day when I went back, I was like, dude, I cannot literally use my arm without my whole arm like in like actually like serious pain. Like it was literally my whole arm was actually in serious pain. It was like aching, throbbing, and it was literally like that for, I'm telling you, multiple weeks. And it really impaired my ability, and it impaired the amount of time I could spend in the gym or just doing anything. It made doing literally anything physical with that arm a super pain in the ass. So don't make this mistake. Don't overtrain. Don't ego lift. It's not worth it. You can make all the gains that you need to make just by following this system. You need to just stay consistent, right? There are no shortcuts in this process. You're going to get there if you just stay consistent. You just do all the things that I mentioned above. You will get to where you want to go eventually, right? You're not gonna look necessarily like fucking all the people you see on Instagram, right? All the fake natties, all the people who running around who have like top 1% genetics, right? You might not look like them, but you will have done the best that you can do for yourself, and you will be proud of that fact, and you will stand out amongst all like the average people and unhealthy people who don't work out, and you can be a source of light and inspiration for those people. So with that being said, if you want any more help with this, check the links down in the description, right? We got the Discord group, hop in there, talk more about this. And yeah, I just hope that you take these things into account, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, bro.